In this video, you will meet two people who were judged for not who they were, but how they looked. One was a mother who was mocked as the world's ugliest woman, and the other was a criminal who turned into an internet heartthrob, titled as the world's most handsome criminal. Together, their stories reveal a painful truth, that when it comes to beauty, the world hasn't learned to see beyond the surface. A woman walks into the stage and she sees an audience who are humiliating her and laughing at her. And she quietly stands there and lets them do so. Not because she's not feeling humiliated, but she had 4 hungry children back home. And their humiliation meant that she's going to get enough money to feed them. Her name was Mary Ann Bevan. She was a London nurse, a wife, a mother who lost everything: her husband, her health, the wealth that she had, and also lost the way she looked to a disease called acromegaly. For those of you who don't know what acromegaly is, acromegaly is a disease which occurs to the adults, where the pituitary gland produces excess growth hormone. This leads to excess growth of the tissues and bones. And in the case of Mary Ann Bevan, her jaws started growing bigger, her fingers started becoming thicker, and the society stopped seeing her kindness and saw only what they called it to be ugly. As days went by, the means for providing for her family dried up, and soon she entered a contest, which was a world-renowned contest for the world's ugliest woman. She knew what the title or that contest meant. But however, she entered that contest because she had 4 hungry tummies to feed, and she had to pay for her children's school fees. She eventually won the title, and winning the title meant that she was going to provide for her children food, a home to live in, and for their schooling as well. Crowds laughed, photographs were snapped, and she became the poster brand of the world's ugliest woman. But behind the stage light was a mother who was quietly taking all of that humiliation so that she could send all that money that she earned to provide for her children. You know what? This woman wasn't ugly. The society was. But before you judge her, may you pause for a moment and see what actually went through her body. Acromegaly does not just affect their physical appearance, but also impacts them internally, like their vision suffers, they have fatigue, they have headache, constant severe headache, sleep apnea, heart disease, diabetes, which shortens their life. So Mary Ann's changing face wasn't a joke, it wasn't a choice. It was the disease in action. Many years later, after her death, a Facebook page which shares many heroic stories wanted to honor this mother and her courage, mentioned her story in length. But when you open the comment section of that story, you suddenly realize that the world has really not changed. And a quick snapshot of the comments can be seen on the screen right now. Those gruesome, cruel comments that included statements like, "Why this long face? Are you having a bad day?" Comments like, "She definitely lived up to her title. How did she even get married?" And several other comments like this, which really were cruel and humiliating her face, her body, even after reading the story of her life. This is not dark humor. This is a proof that the society, even today, looks at the disfigured face of this woman who did everything for her children, but values her based on how her face looks. The ugliness in the comment section speak in volume about what the society today is than it speaks about Mary Ann Bevan. Now let's go to another story which is more than a century later, where another beauty went viral, but for an opposite reason. In 2018, Cameron Herrin, a teenager from Florida, was racing his car with his friends, a Ford Mustang, when he struck and killed 24-year-old mother Jessica Hasinger Fox with her daughter Lillian. In 2021, he was sentenced 24 years of prison. The tragedy was indescribable. Yet what caught the internet attention was not the sorrow or the grief that the victim's family endured, or the danger that reckless driving causes. These were not something that was drawing the attention. What drew the internet attention was Cameron's face. Clips of Cameron Herrin in court flooded the social media, went viral. And instead of catching a universal outrage, these clips attracted a wave of sympathy and attraction. People took clips out of his court hearing and called him too handsome to be in prison. And under those reels and short videos, under those posts, came those comments again. Some of which read like this, which you can see on the screen at this point in time. You don't get decades behind bars for rescuing puppies and helping old ladies cross the street. Free him. He is white. He was a child. It was an innocent accident. Long posts insisting that he had no intentions of killing anyone, that he is an intelligent young adult who doesn't deserve this injustice. That one event in your life should determine your future, and that we all make decisions we regret when we are young. Others even shifted the blame towards the victim, or Jessica Hasinger Fox and her child, by saying, "Look both ways when you cross the street. What you've always been told is something that you need to do." Such things are beyond comparison. These comments show what society truly is even today. However, these comments don't change the fact he hit the car, he drove recklessly, and he killed a mother and a child. But do you know what these comments show? They show that how people can bend justice in their minds when faces fit their ideas of beauty. The same society that looked at Mary Ann Bevan and called her ugly is now seen romanticizing the act of a perpetrator who looks beautiful. Two looks, two faces, but two different reactions, both driven by the same obsession: looks over substance. Mary Ann Bevan's suffering was turned into entertainment, whereas Cameron Herrin's crime turned into attraction. In both the stories, appearance determines whom we empathize with, whom we pity, whom we punish, and whom we forgive. We live in a world which judges Mary Ann Bevan's worth by the way her face looks. And it's the same society or the world that we live in that softens Cameron's criminal act because of the way his face looks. When illness makes a loving mother become a target of jokes, on the other hand, Cameron, though he's a convicted driver, for killing a woman and her child becomes an online crush. If an ugly woman can stand on the stage to feed her children, and a handsome man can stand convicted yet be adored, then maybe ugliness is not on the faces, but the way we look at it. It's in our looks. So, to my viewers, next time when you're ready to crack a joke at someone's face or their body, or you go to rescue someone just because they look handsome and beautiful, think to yourself, are you adding to the ugliness of the world? Or are you choosing to see the human being first? Remember always, beauty fades, character defines. Mirror can only show you your face or your reflection, but it cannot define your worth. So if this resonates with you, share it with someone who deserves to hear this.